Sick of hearing, I want to think it over? If you are, let's fix that right here, right now. Now, what would the average salesperson do? What have you maybe been taught that's not working? And then let's show you how to fix that. Most salespeople have been taught a form like this. Prospect says, hey, I like this. I just need some time to think it over. I'll get back to you. Most salespeople say something like, hey, you said you liked XYZ. What do you need to think about? Or they might say, well, of course you need to think about it. That means I just haven't given you the right information. Like, what information do you need to make an informed decision? Now, the problem is, as you know, that will work here and there, right? Sales is a numbers game, and you might get 1 or 2 out of a 9 or 10. And so maybe you've been taught to keep doing that because you feel that maybe that's normal. I'm going to show you a way to do this where you can get most of them, like 8 out of 10, rather than 1 or 2 out of 10. That's much better. You help a lot more people, you make more sales. Because when you do this type of logical-based trap, are you noticing that your prospects, most of them get defensive, okay? And they don't really open up to you and tell you what the real concern is. Because when the prospect says they want to think it over, is that an objection? No. Hey guys, Jeremy Miner here. Look, a lot of you leave comments wanting me to help you sell more. So the easiest way to get a hold of me, the quickest way, is to text me. So text me right now. It's 480-637-2944. Listen, I started this company to help you learn how to close more deals, but do it the right way. Because do you think they just go back to their house, go back to their office or whatever and write it out on an Excel spreadsheet, the pros and the cons, and they think it over for weeks on end? No, they don't at all, right? You don't do that when a salesperson tries to close you and you tell them you want to think it over, right? It's just a defensive mechanism and you don't want to tell them the real objection. So I'm going to show you how to find out the real objection so you know what you're dealing with, because that's not an objection. I want to think it over. Now, the first thing you have to master how to do is you have to master how to get them to let their guard down where they actually feel comfortable enough to tell you what the real concern is. Because if you don't do that, it's going to be hard to close a lot of deals. So the first thing you do is just agree. Now pay attention to my tonality, my facial expressions, body language when I do this. It's all in the tonality, okay? So you just agree first. Yeah, that's not an issue. So you're just going to agree with them. Yeah, totally, that's not an issue. Now, what's your time frame on getting back to me in the next day or two just to see if I'd be available for you? So first you agree because you want them to let their guard down. Then I'm going to go, what's your time frame on getting back to me? I don't want to say, what's your time frame on getting back to me? Because they might say, give me a month. So I say, in the next day or two, just to see if I'd be available for you. Be available for you communicates what? That you're busy. You've got lots of people coming to you. You solve these problems. You must be good at what you do. It raises your status. Now you might be asking, Jeremy, why are you scheduling another appointment with this objection? Well, what's my first objective? To get them to let their guard down where they feel comfortable, because I have no intention of scheduling this out. We're going to close the deal right here and there. But if I can't get them to let their guard down, I'm never going to know the real concern. I always say you're always selling the exit. You're always selling the exit. You're always selling the exit because then they let their guard down. Now, let's go to the next slide. Let's say the prospect says something like this. Now, there's different angles you can do this. I'm just showing you one angle here. Depending on your industry, would depend on the angle here. So the prospect says, oh, I can call you back next week sometime. Let's say they're waffling or something like that. Then you might say, well, hey, I'm not sure if I'd randomly be available like that with my schedule. What I can do, if it helps, is if you have your calendar handy, I can pull up mine and have you book a specific time with me. That way you don't have to chase me down and vice versa. Would that help you? Now, what did I do here? This is called an NEPQ calendar commitment. That is a writer-downer. Write that down, calendar commitment. I'm building my status here. I'm not sure I'd be randomly available like that with my schedule. That communicates you're busy. You must have lots of people come to you with the problems, right? Still raising status. If you have your calendar handy, I can pull up mine. That way you can book a specific time with me so you don't what? Notice how I'm saying, so they don't have to chase me down and vice versa. See, I'm getting them now to come to me, qualifying to me. Remember, who has the problem? You or the prospect? The prospect. Who has the solution to solve it? You do. So why are you qualifying to them? You're going to learn how to get them to qualify to you, okay? Then I'm saying, would that help you if I did that for you? Now, here is the key at this point. So let's say you sell door to door. You'd say, now before I leave, or let's say if you're at their house, maybe you sell HVAC or cabinets or whatever, and you're at their house. Or let's say if you're at an office, like a boardroom or something, maybe you sell cybersecurity, medical advice, okay, hospital. Before I get off Zoom, before I get off the phone, doesn't matter, you're gonna tweak it here. Now, hey, before we jump off Zoom, what was it that you were, I guess, wanting to go over in your mind, just so I know what questions you'll have when we talk on Tuesday. Now notice how I'm pacing that out. This is really important that you understand this. This is called verbal pacing. Like I said, another writer downer, okay? Verbal pacing, because what would it sound like if I did this? Now before I jump off Zoom, what was it that you're wanting to go over in your mind, just so I know what questions you'll have when we talk on Tuesday? See that monotone voice, monotone tonality? Sounds like a salesperson. You lose people. So notice my voice fluctuation. Notice how I pace out the question. Because if you ask the question too fast, what happens? In your prospect's brain, it gives them no time to internalize what you just asked. So they don't think about it deeper. They just give you a knee-jerk reaction. That's why you get surface level answers. Now, hey, Joan, before I go, what was it that you were, I guess, wanting to go over in your mind, just so I know what questions you'll have when we talk on Wednesday? See, I'm pacing it out. I'm verbal pausing, I'm pacing it out. Now, typically at this point, whatever they say next is the real objection or getting you closer to the real objection. Sometimes you can have a prospect say, well, I don't know if I necessarily have some questions. I just need some time to really kind of go over it and see what my options are. Oh yeah, no problem, and we'll talk about that. Now when you say see what your options are, how do you mean by see what your options are, just so I understand? Well, I'm also with Company X. Oh, see, now what did you just find out? That it's not necessarily I'm thinking it over, they're meeting with somebody else. And now I know what objection or concern they have, that maybe they want to meet with Company X and I'm gonna go a different direction. And I might say, oh yeah, Company X, I mean, they're fairly decent. What are you hoping they say to you? Well, I'm hoping that they give me I'm just looking for the cheapest price. Maybe that's what it is. See, now I know that it's a price concern. So, okay, cheapest price. So is the cheapest price the most important thing to you, or actually getting XYZ result? And you repeat back the result of what you sell. So notice I say cheapest price, not price. Cheapest sounds what? Really bad. Nobody wants the cheapest thing, right? More than likely. So is the cheapest price the most important thing, or actually getting like higher quality leads to your sales team so you're able to scale the company? Let's say if I sold for a marketing agency, see how I'm repeating back the end result. Are you with me on what I just did there? Okay, hope that helps you there. Sometimes you have to loop back around. That's called looping. Okay, we can train you in another video about looping. And listen, if you want to learn this stuff, because I'm assuming you're committed to mastery, right? You're not what I call a dabbler. So if you have questions about what I just went over, or maybe you're like, how do I tie this into what I sell because it's tweaked? Best way to reach me is I'm going to give you this number, 480-637-2944. Just text me there. Every day, myself and two of our sales trainers, we actually lock ourselves in this conference room over here. We actually answer your text. So hope that helped. Text me now at that number. And if you want more training videos like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. My only thing is, do not share it with your competitors. You do not want them knowing what I'm going to show you on this channel. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you soon.